Hi guys, welcome to the final day of the DreamWeek challenge. And today the theme is illusion. When I first saw this prompt, I really thought of a couple hugging and the figure being in the back being very dark and mysterious and like being the illusion of love. It was what I had in mind. And in the beginning you could see I did a bunch of sketches for this because I just wasn't finding the quite right pose. So I found a reference in Pinterest, which was a drawing as well, like one of those basic drawings that you have the poses, but I actually found it was a bit wrong. So it took me a while to find this how I wanted, and since I wanted this to be right, so I went again to my iPad, I did the sketch very quickly, and then I just took a photograph of it and I went with it with my iPad. I just really wanted to nail this drawing. So I used 3 inks with this drawing, and in the beginning you can see me showing them. So the first one that I'm using is the one that I mentioned that I thought it was kind of boring in a few videos ago. It's my waterproof ink. And this one is pretty neutral, it has just a really neutral tint. I knew I really wanted to layer with this drawing, at least his part. I really wanted to layer, I really wanted to build up the dark. I wanted to do tattoos. I knew I wanted to use a lot of layers. So I thought it would be better to just use this one. And I quite like that I used a different one. It separates him a lot more from the background. So it's not too bad that I use this. And I'm drawing a guy. What? It was a bit weird at first. And I had a lot of difficulty with the anatomy of him. Especially the thickness of the arms. I'm so used to drawing thinner arms when I draw girls that when I drew him I was like, okay, think bulky, think manly. But I really like how it turned out. Men are not my strong suit at all. But I'm also doing the 6 fan art thing that's going on. And I have a few guys there, so what? Maybe I am practicing a bit more guys, which is nice. I really wanted him to look almost menacing, but at the same time, like, he's just looking ahead. The person that he's holding doesn't matter. She's just something that happened. So this is pretty much the last drawing of this week, and I had tremendous fun with this challenge. I think it was really interesting to do. I really like weekly challenges that allow me to grow at least, or at least find out something different. In the end, when I show you all the drawings, I find it really funny that the first drawing that I did looks so different from this one. And I think it's because I always try my best to include like cross-hatching in my work or something, because I know that once it was popular, it sounds a bit wrong for me to say this, but when I got a bit more following, it was on Inktober of 2018, 17, I think, 2018, 17, I think. And it was because I started doing hatching with a pen, and that really took off, and that was pretty popular for a while, but it's not something I identify as much now. And I think that shows when I try to do it. I'm not as comfortable. It doesn't allow me to make softer looks as I like. So I still have fun with it, but I think it's something I use more just to have some variety, not just because I think it gives off the best result. So I think after I used the brush, I was like, okay, I'm sorry, fountain pen. It was fun, but I really want to end the drawing with something I like. And so for her, I just really wanted her to have a really soft color and not a lot of shading at all. I just wanted her to look happy, and I wanted her to look like she was happy, yeah, because she is being deceived. That's the whole point of this drawing, at least for me. and I love this part so much. This is here when I can really show you the difference between these two inks. Like my Waterman inks really looks like a deep blue, and I just love it so much. I just find it so beautiful that I really think it shines as a background, especially against the neutral ink that I used for him. I think it really shows the beauty of this ink. So I'm really happy I chose this. I'm also pretty happy I went at the iPad and just tested it out. I wasn't a person of planning a lot of my drawings. I always went for like, whatever, just go for it. But as I'm starting to use more my iPad and having the ability to quickly plan out things, I'm really enjoying the process and the result that it gives. It allows me to have more control, because I think if I didn't went with it, I would have a pretty bad anatomy pose, and it was also way too small on the page. That's what also made me really want to just take a photo and went to the iPad, because I drew them way too small in the page, small and lower. Like, it wasn't a good framing in the paper. So I thought, okay, screw this. I really want to nail this. I don't want to half-ass it. I have time because I started doing this earlier than in the day, so I did have time to just do it, and I took that advantage and I just tried my best to plan it out, see what would work, also see the background because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. And I also tested, you can see I have a pencil line there. I also tested if I wanted to draw the string of fate, which is, you probably know this, but this is probably based, I think it comes from Clump, I believe. At least a friend of mine told me it did. And it's the myth that in Japan culture, you have a red string of fate attached to your pinky and attached to your soulmate's pinky. And that's the person you're meant to be with. And I really like the visual of that, and I think it's just a pretty story. And whenever a manga or something has that, I'm always like, yes, I always love it. So I really wanted to include it here, but I was having a little bit of doubts. So I added in Procreate, I asked my friends, and in the end I decided to add it. So here I just got my gouache and I just mixed a pretty red color quickly, and then I just added. I wanted the string to be attached to her, but to be loose at him, like it wasn't attached to him. I wanted to show that she thinks that they are meant to be, but he is clearly tricking her. In my head, he would not look like this for her. Like in my head, he would look like a human for her, and just like this, you'd be able to just be fooled. So I'm pretty much at the end here. I'm just doing a few touch-ups, and I just want to thank you so much for being with me during this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast and it was super fun to share it with you. Here we have the final compilation of the DreamWeek Challenge 2020. I gotta say, I think it's pretty funny that the first day and the final day are so different. Actually, I only did the first 4 with an actual fountain pen, and then I just switched to a brush because I was feeling the need for a few softer lines. This is my preferred look, I think. I do still have a lot of fun doing stuff like this, more graphic, but if I can do softer things, I will prefer it. It is funny that this and this, this is where I began the week, this is where I started. They are pretty different. And without a doubt, I started taking way more care about the design. When I first started, I did like a sketch and that was fine. But this one I took a lot of care. I did a lot of testing, I planned it a lot, and I think that was a good thing for me, because I started to really care about these pieces and how they looked. So I think that was a good experience. So overall, this week was actually pretty interesting to do, and I think I learned a few things about inks and how to work with them, and it was definitely a lot of fun. These week challenge, they are just immensely fun for me. I hope you enjoyed this week, and I hope you enjoyed the videos. I tried my best to make them nice. I'm still learning how to YouTube, so it's a work in progress. Please subscribe if you want. I'm uploading quite regularly. Leave a like saying, God damn, I always say this. Leave a like and then leave a comment saying which one of these was your favorite. If you prefer the softer looks or the more graphic with the pen, what do you prefer? Let me know. Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!